So in the previous class we had already discussed about autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition, and we had discussed about how organisms are obtaining their nutrition, and we had discussed the amoeba or the unicellular organism, how they are getting their nutrition. So now we will discuss about the nutrition in human beings or the digestive system in the human beings, because human get their nutrition by digesting the food. So for digesting the food they need a digestive system. So here we will discuss about the digestion in humans or digestive system in the humans. So human digestive system is very well developed. It consists of the gut or alimentary canal, which is a long tube extending from mouth to anus. So digestive system consists of alimentary canal which extends from mouth to anus, and it has various parts. It has different parts and various regions are specialized to perform different functions. Like alimentary canal is divided to mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and then anus. So it is a long tube which extends from mouth to anus. First of all the digestive system starts from the mouth. We eat various types of food which has to pass through the same digestive tract, and the food has to be processed to generate particles which are smaller and of the same texture. So it is said that in human beings digestion starts from the mouth, because here we are taking the food. The intake of food takes place in the mouth. After that the food is chewed by the help of the teeth. We are crushing our food with our teeth, and so we are using the teeth to crush or finely grind the teeth. And we had already discussed in previous classes that we have 4 types of teeth, that is incisors, canine, premolars and molars, and all the types of teeth are having their different functions. You have studied the functions of the teeth also. So all these are helping us to crush the food or to chew the food properly. So even in the mouth you might have observed that whenever you eat something you like, your mouth waters when you see something tasty, or when you see a food item which one you like, your mouth waters. That is not actually the water but a fluid, that is called saliva. That watery like substance or the fluid is called saliva, which is secreted by the salivary glands. So here in the mouth saliva is secreted by the salivary glands. So after the food is chewed by the teeth, it is mixed with the saliva. So to make the food moist and soft, so that the passage of the food will be very smooth. So in the mouth salivary glands secrete saliva. In the saliva the food is mixed. The food is mixed with the saliva, and the saliva also contains a biological catalyst called salivary amylase. That is the biological catalyst is also known as enzyme, and that enzyme is salivary amylase. That enzyme, the salivary amylase, breaks down the starch to sugar, breaks down the complex starch to simple sugar. So first of all the food is taken to the mouth and then it is chewed by the teeth. We have different types of teeth, so we use our teeth to chew the food, and then the mouth secretes in the mouth the saliva is secreted by the salivary glands. So the food is mixed with the saliva to make it moist and soft. Saliva also contains a biological catalyst or enzyme, that is salivary amylase, which breaks down the complex starch to simple sugar. Here the food is mixed thoroughly with the saliva and move around the mouth while chewing by the muscular organ that is called tongue. So the lining of the canal has muscles that contract rhythmically in order to push the food forward. So that movement is called peristalsis. This movement is called peristalsis, where the muscles contract rhythmically contract and relaxes to push the food forward. That is called peristalsis, and this peristaltic movement occur all along the gut. And the peristaltic movement or peristalsis you can define as the rhythmic contraction and relaxation in order to push the food. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation of muscles in order to push the food, that movement is called peristalsis, and this peristaltic movement occurs all along the gut. from the mouth, after that from the mouth the food is taken to the stomach, which is a muscular organ, through the oesophagus or the food pipe. The food pipe or the oesophagus connects the mouth and the stomach. So the food passes through the oesophagus due to the peristaltic movement or peristalsis, and it reaches to the stomach, or from the mouth the food enters to the stomach through the food pipe or the oesophagus. So here the stomach, you can see it is a muscular organ. It is a stomach is a large muscular organ which expands when the food enters it, and the muscular walls of the stomach help in mixing the food thoroughly with the digestive juices. So here you can see it is a muscular organ, and here it expands when the food enters the stomach. The muscular organ or the stomach expands, and then it helps in mixing the food thoroughly with more digestive juices. So the gastric glands present in the wall of the stomach, they release hydrochloric acid, a protein digesting enzyme that is called pepsin, and mucus. So they release hydrochloric acid, an enzyme called pepsin, and mucus. So the hydrochloric acid, what is the function of the hydrochloric acid? Hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium which facilitates the action of the enzyme pepsin. So because of the hydrochloric acid, the environment created by the hydrochloric acid or the acidic medium created by the hydrochloric acid helps the pepsin to activate or to do the action. Then the mucus protects the inner lining or helps to protect the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid under normal conditions. So the gastric glands in the wall of the stomach, they release hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. So here hydrochloric acid provides an acidic medium so that pepsin, the enzyme pepsin that can facilitate or that can do the action on the food, and mucus protects the inner lining of the stomach from the action of the acid under normal conditions. So here in the stomach already protein digestion started because of the acidic medium provided by hydrochloric acid. The pepsin activates and started the digestion of the protein. So after that from the stomach the food enters to small intestine. So the exit of the food from the stomach is regulated by a sphincter muscle, that is the small intestine, or you can say that from the stomach the food passes to the small intestine, which is known as the longest part of the alimentary canal, and which is fitted into a compact space because of its extensive coiling. So the length of the small intestines differ in various animals depending on the food habit. For example, herbivorous, they are eating grass, so they need to digest the cellulose. So the cellulose digestion, to digest the cellulose, they have small intestine is longer. They have longer small intestine, but those who are eating meat or the carnivorous animals, they have shorter small intestine because the meat is very easy to digest. Cellulose is very difficult to digest, so the herbivorous are having a longer small intestine, but the carnivorous, since they are eating meat is very easy to digest, so they have smaller intestine, shorter small intestine. So it is the longest part in the alimentary canal, but its length depends upon the food habit of the animal in different animals. And the small intestine is the site of the complete digestion of carbohydrate, proteins, and fat, because the small intestine receives the secretions from the liver and pancreas. Liver secretes bile juice and pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which helps in the complete digestion of carbohydrate, proteins, and fat. So liver secretes bile and pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. The bile juice is secreted by liver and pancreatic juice is secreted by pancreas, but here you can see that here all hydrochloric acid is secreted from the stomach. That means here already the food is acidic. So the food is acidic. In the acidic medium, the pancreatic juice cannot be, the enzymes from the pancreatic enzymes, they cannot work. So it has to be made alkaline for the pancreatic enzymes to be to act, because already it is in the acidic medium, so now it has to be made alkaline so that pancreatic enzymes can act on them. So for that, bile juice from the liver accomplishes this or helps this in addition to acting on fats, because fats are present in the form of large globules which makes it difficult for the enzymes to act on them. So bile salt break them down into smaller globules, increasing the efficiency of enzyme action. And this is and then the pancreas secretes pancreatic juice, which contains the enzymes like trypsin, which is help in digesting proteins, and lipase for breaking down emulsified fats. So here the pancreatic juice, it also contains the enzymes like trypsin and lipase. So the food which comes from stomach to small intestine, that is in the acidic medium. Since it is in the acidic medium, the pancreatic enzymes cannot act on them. The small intestine, it receives the secretions from the liver and pancreas, but due to the acidic medium, the pancreatic enzymes cannot act on the food. That is why it has to be made alkaline. It has to be made alkaline so that the pancreatic enzymes can act. So the secretions of liver, that is bile juice accomplishes this, or bile juice help for this to make it alkaline so that the pancreatic enzymes can act. And with this, in addition to this, it also helps to break down the fat molecules, because fat molecules in the small intestine, they are present as the large form of globules, so it is very difficult for the enzymes to act on them. So bile salts break them down into small globules, increasing the efficiency of the enzyme action. So the pancreatic juice which contains enzymes trypsin that helps for breaking down proteins, and lipase helps for breaking down emulsified fats. So after that, the enzymes present it in finally convert the proteins to amino acids, complex carbohydrates to glucose, and fats to fatty acids and glycerol. The walls of small intestine, they also contain some intestinal juice. This also secretes some intestinal juice. These enzymes present in it, finally they convert the proteins to amino acids, complex carbohydrate to glucose, and fat to fatty acids and glycerol. So the enzymes convert protein to amino acids, carbohydrate to glucose, and fats to fatty acid and glycerol. Then the digested food is taken up by the walls of the intestine. The inner lining of small intestine has numerous finger-like projections called villi. So here in the walls of small intestine, numerous finger-like projections are there, which is called villi, which increase the surface area for absorption. So the villi are richly supplied with the blood vessels which take the absorbed food to each and every cell of the body. In each and every cell of the body, the absorbed food is utilized for obtaining energy, for building up the new tissues and the repair of the old tissues. After that, the unabsorbed food is finally sent to the large intestine. From small intestine, it is sent to the large intestine, where its wall is absorbing more water from this material. The rest material is removed from the body via anus. So it is removed from the body via anus. The exit of this material is regulated by the anal sphincter. So here, first of all, the complete digestion takes place in the small intestine. From the small intestine, the unabsorbed food, that is sent to the large intestine, where the water is absorbed. After that, the rest material or the unwanted material is removed from the body via anus. So this is all about the digestive system of the humans, or how the humans are getting nutrition. Once again, in a very short I am telling. It starts from mouth. First of all, human beings takes food from the mouth. Then after that, they chew the food with the help of the teeth, and the mouth is having saliva secreted by the salivary glands. The food is mixed with the saliva, and then the saliva contains salivary amylase, which breaks down the starch into sugar. After that, the food passes to the oesophagus, and through the oesophagus it reaches to the stomach, which is a muscular organ and which expands after entering the food. After that, the gastric glands present in the wall of the stomach, they release hydrochloric acid, pepsin, and mucus. So hydrochloric acid creates an acidic medium so that pepsin can act to break down the proteins. So pepsin can act here to break down the proteins or because of the hydrochloric acid, and mucus helps the lining. Mucus helps to protect the lining because of the from the hydrochloric acid under normal body conditions. Then after that, from the stomach, the food passes to small intestine, which is the longest part of the body, and the small intestine also receives secretions from the liver and pancreas, but the food is passed to the small intestine from the stomach, so it is already, the food is in the acidic medium, so it has to be made alkaline so that pancreatic enzymes can act on them. So for that, liver, the secretions of liver, that is bile juice, help in this. And it also, in addition to this, bile juice also helps to break down the fat globules, because in the intestine fat globules are present in the form of large fat globules, so it breaks down the bile salts, break down the fat globules to large globules to the small, so that the enzymes can act on them. And the pancreas secretions, the pancreatic juice also contains enzymes like trypsin, which break down the proteins, and lipase, which help in the breakdown of emulsified fats. So after that, the protein is converted to amino acids, carbohydrate is converted to glucose, fats is converted to fatty acid and glycerol. The digestive food is also taken up by the walls of intestine, so it has numerous finger-like projections called villi, which increase the surface area for absorption, and it is taken by each and every cell of the body to utilize it for obtaining energy, building up new tissues and repair old tissues. After that, the unabsorbed food, that is from the small intestine, that passes to large intestine, where the water is absorbed from the material and the unwanted material that is removed from the body via anus. So this is about the digestive system of the human beings, and please read your book so that you will be more clear about each and every part and function of every part of the human digestive systems.